Welcome, welcome to another beautiful day in another EBX discussion. And I thank those, my soldiers and soldierettes, for coming in to another, wonderful day. And I give honor to my ancestors and may those in our families that we held dear, may they transition, may they rest in peace and in power. And I honor thy mother, honor thy father, I honor thy brother, and I honor thy sister. And may all of our families, may they prosper, and everything we touch turn to gold. And today we are going to talk about principles versus man's law. And we're going to touch on being connected to that divine, because nothing will be in order if we are not connected to that divine. And you hear me talk about that great divine a lot, because when one has become in tune with it, we'll walk, eat, sleep, and breathe that spiritual power within. And we're also going to get into knowing versus believing. We're going to break some stuff down today, because principles bring a different spirit than man's law. So that's why we're going to break it down. That's why I always say, folks, my soldiers and soldierettes, salute. You have to look up things. And you look up one word and you see something else in that definition that'll lead you to another level of awakening and educating our psyche, spirit, soul, body, anything that's connected to the growth and the raising of the vibration of our minds. And we're going to start off with principles. Principles, a fundamental truth or proposition that serves as the foundation for a system of or belief or behavior, or for a chain of reasoning. Now we're going to talk about that word belief and reasoning. I'm going to read that again. A fundamental truth or proposition that serves as the foundation or a system of belief. We're going to talk about that word belief or behavior, or for a chain, or for a chain of reasoning. Now we're going to talk about the second part. That's the first part of that definition. Now we're going to talk about the second part, a general scientific theorem or law, that we're going to talk about that word theorem too. That's a word I've never used in my vocabulary, and excuse me if I'm not saying it right. A general scientific theorem or law that has numerous special applications across a wide field. Okay, that's the second definition. I'm going to read it one more time. A general scientific theorem or law that has numerous special applications across a wide field. Okay, that's the second part of that definition. Now we're gonna break down that word proposition. A suggested program or plan or action that, especially in a business context, a suggested program or plan of action, especially in a business context. That is important. A business context, because we got to think of our brain as a business. You know, if you want to keep that brain, that business going, you have to be responsible. You know, with more responsibility, with more accountability, or with more power becomes more accountability. So we got to keep that business running clean and good. Have to be righteous if we want things to flow good. And that ties in to principles. And we're going to get into laws too. I want to read that first definition of principle again. A fundamental, because I want this to get in our spirit, a fundamental truth or proposition. I mean, we just talked about proposition, that serves as the foundation for a system of belief or behavior, or for a chain of reasoning. And reasoning is the key word in that definition, because if you don't have reasoning, you'll never figure out challenges and come up with solutions. You have to reason through things. That's how we come up with ways to fight battles within ourselves and on the outside. That's why we have to go deep sometimes and go deeper into things. I always tell you folks, don't look in it, look at it. Always look, no, you don't look, excuse me, you don't look at things, you look in it and not at it. I think I said that right. Yeah, you look in it and not at it, because we will truly see how awakened one will be when we start getting those results, because that's what this walk is all about. That's what seeking the truth is all about. It's getting results and not standing still and taking action. Now we're going to break down laws and the definition of law. A system, notice it starts right out, a system of rules which a particular country or community recognizes as regulating the actions of its members, and which it may enforce by the imposition of penalties. See, I'm going to read that again. I want y'all to listen to that definition clearly. A system of rules which a particular country or community recognizes as regulating the actions of its members, and which it may enforce by the imposition of penalties. See how negative that is? Enforce. It's not suggesting that you do something. It's making you do something. And when something is not suggesting or communicating with you and telling you, it's all about the spirit, because especially in these times, we are in that spirit realm. So a lot of laws give off that rebellious spirit. It almost it's like entrapment almost. Like it has that spirit where it wants you to fuck up, so to speak. So that's the difference between man's laws and principles, because the principles give you a spirit of empowerment. It lets you find your own way. That's what a lot of us teachers, that's why it comes from our ancestors. That's what they practice. Principles, things that come from that great divine, not from no book. Something that comes straight from what, folks? Within. And, some things you just can't get from a law or books. Some things just come from that great divine. So that's why I kind of just wanted to break this down. Excuse me if I was fumbling a little bit. And, I do that sometimes. But when you're authentic, you just keep it flowing, keep it moving. And I love teaching my brothers and sisters. Always, like I said a few minutes ago, always be willing to look within things and ask questions and never just look at it, because you will come through that finish line many times when it comes to our mind, because our mind is all we have, folks. So always be willing to expand it, to keep it stimulated. And what we do as we stimulate our own mind, folks, we teach those before us, especially our children, because there are always those that are not in that state that we are in. We got to always keep that in mind. It'll always be a soft spot in my heart for those that are struggling with the mental. And if you have some struggles in your physical life, I concur. I know how it is. And you have to stay with it, because always got to remember, many of us have been through things that we never thought we could get out of. So those that are struggling, stay with it. How are you going to get to that great side? You can't get to that mountain. You can't get to the top if you're looking at the bottom. So that's why we have to study things. And I always say, you do one thing that's righteous will lead you to another thing that's righteous. And you just keep it going and keep it going and keep planting them seeds. And you will bear that fruit. And study the spirit of patience, so you won't go crazy in your waiting times while you still putting your foot down in the community and getting things done. And one wants to reiterate, for those parents out there that have kids in school, get involved as much as we can. I know this is a busy world and we're not able to do a lot of things, but try as much as we can, brothers and sisters, because I know, sometimes we really want to get involved in the community, but we every now and then, just the hinkling of I don't like to use that word fear. Some doubt might try to seek in, but once you do it and we connect with these children and see what's going on and get that spiritual connection with them, you will want to do it more, and doubt won't even enter your mind. All you will see is the growing and the lifting of a young brother and a young sister. So that's why, I reiterate that. That's why I'm involved, and I'm a volunteer at my son's school, which is 7 years old. I don't think I said that on the last podcast I talked about. So it feels good when you're actually doing what you're saying. So this is the reason why I look up the word principle and laws, because we cannot begin to teach those before us if we don't teach ourselves. We have to know within ourselves. We never want to jump off thinking, I always say this, know that we know everything. Keep ourselves humble, keep ourselves balanced, and be able to be wrong sometimes, because that's what builds us. It's not being right all the time that makes us a powerful brother and sister. It's knowing when we're wrong. And that's when we have gained that growth, when we say, okay, I made a mistake. Let's correct that so we can get back on course and fight this real battle out here, which is what, brothers and sisters? A spiritual battle. We all feel it. Even those that are not that aware, they feel it too. So I want to read that definition of principle again. The first definition, it's 2 definitions. The first one, because I want us to keep this in our spirit. Remember, reading, writing, looking up words, it gets into your subconscious. So principles, the first definition, a fundamental truth or proposition that serves as the foundation for a system of belief, not a system not the matrix, not that system. As a system of belief or behavior, or for a chain of reasoning. A chain of reasoning. I mean, everyone we connect to. It's like a domino effect, but in a positive way. You know, we make those that are wrong fall, and those that are those that are righteous rise. And hopefully, you know, it's all up to us. You know, we can those of us that are teaching and raising and putting all our energy into trying to keep those sane, it's up to them to maintain. Remember, folks, we have overcome. Now we have overcome, we have overcame. Now we have to maintain. And maintaining is studying oneself and taking this life serious, as we have fun too. But always got to keep that pineal gland open for new things, because there are always things that can throw us off track. We have to stay with it no matter what, because, you know, it's going to get, you know, I don't like to talk negative or talk down on things, but you just have to stay aware. And that's where studying comes in. That's when knowing principles come in, knowing who you are comes into play, and just be true to oneself. And you can never go wrong. Being righteous, you'll never go wrong. Never. Because a lot of us are living this. And I want to talk about that word belief. And it's better to know. You have to know, not believe. Because I've use this example before. When you're getting a paycheck, you don't believe. When you're working a job and you're going to get paid, do you believe you're going to get paid, or do you know you're going to get paid? So that's what we have to do, folks. We have to stick to knowing, not believing. Because believing can be almost manipulative, you know, depending on what it is that you're believing in. That's why I don't use that word. I'm saying you can look that word up. You'll get the real gist of it. You'll get the real meaning of it. And the law, let's read that definition of the word law again. A system starts right out. It might as well say it, a matrix. A system of rules which a particular country or community recognizes, or regulating the actions of its members, and which it may enforce by the imposition of penalties. All sound like negative energy. And it's laws. It's just listen to it. The word law doesn't even, principles sound just principles. It's just it's just smooth how it comes out when you say it. Law is just law. You're going to do this, or this will happen and you'll go to jail, and it's totally different. So were laws meant to protect, help, or is it entrapment? You be the judge. So what I get from it, I don't get reasoning from it. I don't get suggestions from it. I get the spirit of command and demand. That's what I get from the definition of law. Excuse me, that word law. So let me know in the comments what you think. That if politicians, if they ran with the spirit of principles, would things run smoother instead of making rough, rigid laws? Because we can't always look, even though it's a lot of crime out here and a lot of people doing a lot of stuff. Where did it come from? Where did it stem from? That's the question. What's making certain people, individuals, react a certain way? We have to go deeper into things. Remember, we look in it, not at it. So that's why I broke it down about principles and laws. And I hope I explained it pretty good to you. We always can do our own studying. A lot of us teachers, brothers and sisters out here, we're just messengers. We all are teachers. We all are leaders. We just gotta stick with that divine, speak with that divine, and he'll get in our minds, and we'll see. It's all what, folks? It's all deep with inside. Get underneath all that crap that we hide. Get under there, because that's where the great divine resides. Remember that. Whenever you're feeling some kind of way, you think of that divine. Remember, that greater, higher force speaks overall. Has a say overall. Remember, just think, I want you to keep that. I mean that. That's why I say it so much. That's what will keep us centered. And always study and be willing to go deep about everything. And things will come to you that it would overwhelm you, because that's how that divine works. So that's my thought, and that's my real thought. And y'all brothers and sisters, stay intelligent out there. Stay expanding your mind. Stay stimulated. And guess what? Teach it to our children too, and those that we love. So that's my thought, my real thought, my positive thought. And I give honor to your family, my family, reaches and teaches. I give honor to my children, their mothers, brothers and sisters all over the world. May you have peace in your part of the world, wherever you are right now. One.